Introduction. Strong-willed kids know from a young age that they are different and have a strong need to show it. They have an inner drive, and their passion and fierceness often help them reach their goals. They can keep going even when things are hard because they have a strong will and can think for themselves. They are not easily changed by what other people say or do. They have a strong sense of right and wrong that comes from their core views. People might mistake their stubbornness and unwillingness to give in for stubbornness or disrespect, but what really drives them is a strong desire to fight for what they believe in. When these kids have a chance to do what they like, they usually do well. They are always interested in learning more about the world and questioning conventional wisdom. Strong-willed kids need clear rules and guidance if they're going to do well in life. They benefit from being in a place that encourages open communication and takes their thoughts and views seriously. These children have a strong sense of freedom. They are able to think critically and make choices based on their own views and ideals. They are sure of who they are and don't let other people or social rules change them. Because they can think and act on their own, they are free to try ideas, question conventions, and make their own plans. When raising a strong-willed child, it's important to know how important patience is. Parents shouldn't get into fights with these kids, even if they push the limits or don't want to do what they're told. Instead, they should teach their child how to talk things out and solve problems. A lot has been written about how difficult it is to raise strong-willed children, but in this book, I will be sharing some powerful ideas and strategies with you on how to raise strong-willed kids effectively. Chapter 1. Traits of strong-willed children. Strong-willed children are considered to be highly resilient and persistent. They have an unbreakable resolve to make their own way in the world. They like to maintain their stance, fight authority, and question conventional wisdom. They have a strong internal compass that they utilize to make decisions and are not easily swayed by external influences. They are extraordinary in their ability to analyze and think critically. They frequently venture off on their own due to their intense curiosity and desire to learn new things. They have character strength that permits them to persist in the face of adversity. Strong-willed children have a strong sense of fairness and justice. They are guided by their principles and fight zealously for what they believe is right. They are not afraid to stand up for what is right or to defend the rights of others around them. Having a strong-willed child may both present a pleasant experience and a problem. They require parents and caretakers who can establish limitations while also allowing them to develop as individuals. They thrive in environments that allow them to chart their own course within restrictions. If raised right, strong-willed children usually grow up to be excellent pioneers, leaders, and change-makers. Because of their perseverance and determination, they have the capacity to make a positive influence in the world. Strong-willed children frequently have bright imaginations and new viewpoints. They have a unique ability for creative problem-solving that distinguishes them from the rest of us. Curiosity is a strong motivation for them, and they are always seeking new experiences and challenges. Despite their strong will, these children have a high ability for empathy and compassion, which can lead to disagreements and power conflicts. They may be empathic and sensitive, and they regularly defend the rights of minorities and the underprivileged. Strong-willed children do not necessarily act angrily or stubbornly. Their tenacity and determination are not defects, but rather the pillars of their success. With the right supervision and support, they can achieve both personal and academic success. Parents who have strong-willed children must be patient, compassionate, and communicative. It is critical to set limits and expectations while still allowing them to develop their own distinct selves. Common misconceptions about strong-willed children. The general belief is that they are purposefully rude or rebellious. This perspective overlooks the fact that their behaviors are driven by a profound desire for freedom and self-expression. A child's strong sense of self and willingness to make their own decisions do not constitute rudeness. It is also untrue that these children are more difficult to raise than others. Their strong will indicates perseverance and leadership qualities, so while they may require additional supervision and assistance, it is crucial to appreciate this. People with strong will have enormous potential for success and growth if their natural drive and focus are encouraged and nurtured. The misconception that these children cannot be persuaded or instructed must also be dispelled. They may appear independent and uncompromising, yet they are amenable to teaching. Provide specific explanations of standards and expectations, support the development of problem-solving ability, and give the kid some input in decision-making within acceptable limitations. It's also crucial to realize that not all strong-willed children grow up to be troublemakers. Their outspoken style may cause problems at school, but it normally evolves into characteristics like persistence and confidence as they get older. Strong-willed children who grow up in a safe and caring household become strong people who pursue their aspirations and make important contributions to the world. While it is true that strong-willed children can be tough for their parents, this viewpoint ignores the numerous characteristics these youngsters possess. These children often have leadership potential and characteristics such as perseverance and tenacity. Their natural curiosity and passion for exploration may produce astonishing achievements when encouraged and directed. Authoritarian parenting techniques are ineffective when dealing with them. These children thrive in caring environments. Establishing a firm foundation of trust with them is the key to successful communication, mutual respect, and coordinated efforts. Things to understand while dealing with strong-willed children. Strong-willed children have a healthy belief in themselves and their abilities. The effects of such tenacity are often astonishing. They are not easily discouraged and persevere in the face of hardship. Possessing this attribute may be advantageous since it promotes tenacity and a willingness to confront challenges head-on. They are also usually free spirits. They are prone to challenge authority and oppose what they perceive to be unfair. Their individuality often causes them to struggle with people in positions of power. They may object if they believe the rules and instructions are being enforced too rigorously or arbitrarily. This might lead to issues with relationships at home and in the school. To solve these challenges, you'll need patience and solid communication skills as you establish restrictions while providing them options. Children that are firm in their beliefs usually have powerful emotions that they are not hesitant to express. Their emotional reactions may overwhelm them as well as others around them. A child's social and emotional development is dependent on your ability to assist them in recognizing and managing their emotions. Teaching children proper coping strategies such as deep breathing and talking through emotions may help to support their mental health and promote more good interactions with others. These children are frequently self-assured and prepared to take chances. They may act quickly and decisively, usually without thinking about the consequences. This lack of restraint may lead to them acting carelessly or making hasty decisions. By helping children in these areas, you may help them learn to moderate their urges and make sensible decisions. These children may struggle to accept authority and comply with restrictions that they believe are unfair. They often struggle to adhere to the standards and expectations of others around them. It requires skill to find a balance between their need for structure and discipline and their desire for independence. By setting clear expectations, offering them opportunities for decision-making, and involving them in decision-making processes, the potential for conflict may be lessened and a sense of ownership and responsibility promoted. Chapter 2. Encouraging autonomy. It's important to remember that children with a strong will are more likely to challenge boundaries and question authority than their more subservient peers. The first and most crucial step is to communicate openly and politely with them. Encourage them to be absolutely honest with you about their feelings and truly listen to what they have to say. This will create an environment of mutual trust and understanding. It is also critical to develop dependable performance benchmarks. Explaining the reasoning behind rules and boundaries may help a child accept them. They are more likely to follow the rules if they understand its logic and relevance. However, because strong-willed children have strong opinions, be prepared for arguments and discussions. Encourage them to come up with ideas that work within the limits you've established to help them become better problem solvers. Giving children age-appropriate tasks and responsibilities is another effective strategy. Give children reasonable duties, such as caring after their own belongings and helping with housekeeping. This teaches children to be independent in a healthy way by providing opportunities for them to practice responsibility and self-sufficiency. Try not to become involved in power struggles. Instead, strive to fix the problems and find solutions that everyone can agree on. Even if you disagree with your kid, it is crucial to demonstrate that you respect their opinions and feelings. This increases their self-esteem and teaches them to stand out for themselves without resorting to belligerent or rebellious behaviors. Allowing kids to make their own decisions is essential for fostering autonomy. Allow them considerable latitude in making judgments within reasonable limits. One example is the flexibility to choose their own hobbies and interests outside of school. They will learn to make decisions and accept responsibility for their behavior. Instill problem-solving skills in your child by teaching them to consider the consequences of their actions. Help them consider their options and understand why it's crucial to think before acting. As a result, they build confidence in their capacity to make decisions and take leadership of problem solving. Because strong-willed children have a strong need to be heard and understood, it is critical to educate them how to solve issues and manage disagreements. Assist them in learning to communicate effectively so that they may successfully express their demands and concerns. Give advice on how to actively listen, express feelings assertively, and find solutions that satisfy all people engaged in a conflict. Be flexible within defined limits, understanding that strong-willed children will occasionally push those limits. Maintain an open mind and be prepared to compromise sometimes when a lot isn't at stake. Promoting decision-making skills in strong-willed children. Children with a strong will can benefit from being exposed to an environment that encourages them to think for themselves and provides opportunities for them to practice decision-making and problem-solving. It is vital to begin by appreciating and praising the child's unwavering drive. Recognize their persistence and self-reliance as desirable characteristics with great potential. Instead of viewing their drive as a burden, consider it an opportunity to learn and grow. Allow them some discretion in matters such as how they dress and what books they read. Being democratic in your approach with them enables them to have faith in their own decisions. Also, by asking them open-ended questions, problem-solving abilities are developed. Instead of offering a fast remedy, consider asking them some probing questions about the issue. Motivate them to think outside the box and come up with innovative ideas. Play the role of a compassionate listener. It is critical to validate the feelings of strong-willed children since they have strong emotions. Don't limit their opportunity to express themselves to you. Actively listening to what they have to say can help them believe in their own abilities to make decisions and solve problems. Get them engaged in puzzles, board games, and building projects to help them develop critical thinking and decision-making skills. They can use the possibilities provided by these activities to polish their skills in making decisions. Encourage a growth mindset by making them reflect on what they've done and where they could improve. Be mindful of how you handle issues, as children learn by observing and mimicking their parents. Exhibit a positive attitude towards problem solving, with an emphasis on tenacity and finding workable solutions. Children with strong wills may learn to make excellent judgments and solve difficulties by watching you. Encourage their natural curiosity by letting them try new activities and interests. Encourage them to be curious and to analyze the information they uncover using critical thinking. Curiosity like this will help them build their problem-solving and decision-making skills. Involve them in decision-making scenarios that are appropriate for their age and have real-world consequences. Give them duties, such as assisting in the planning of a family outing, making a house purchase, or reviewing the family budget. They may get to watch how their decisions play out directly and learn from the experience. Helping strong-willed children develop a positive self-image. Helping strong-willed children develop a healthy sense of identity and confidence in themselves is a crucial aspect of parenting them. It necessitates a sensitive and loving approach. The following are some approaches to follow. Strong-willed children require a loving family environment. It is critical that they are heard, acknowledged, and respected. Allow children to feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and feelings with you, and actively listen to what they have to say. This demonstrates that you recognize and respect their opinions and feelings. It is not sufficient to merely affirm them. They must hear that you acknowledge and value what they have done and have worked hard to achieve. Recognize their efforts by truly applauding them. This will strengthen their self-esteem by demonstrating that their efforts and abilities have been recognized. Children with a strong will are often quite autonomous and want to make their own decisions. Give them duties and freedoms that are appropriate for their developmental stage. This will motivate them and help them feel capable and self-sufficient. Self-esteem can only build up when children are taught to appreciate what makes them unique. Assist them in understanding that disparities in skill and background are normal and to be welcomed. Allow them to discover who they are and what they want in life by encouraging them to follow their particular interests. Promote the importance of regular exercise and a nutritious diet for good health. Instill pride in their physical ability rather than their physical attractiveness in them. You may help them accept themselves and create a positive attitude on their bodies by supporting appropriate health and hygiene practices. Also, provide a good example of healthy self-esteem and self-care. Parents or main caretakers are often a child's first teachers. Display self-assurance, develop self-care routines, and prioritize your health. This will show them how to love and respect themselves. Chapter 3. Communicating effectively with strong-willed children. When interacting with children that have a strong will, the ability to empathize and listen carefully is essential. When we actively listen to a child, we pay attention to what they are saying and try to understand what they are feeling. We look them in the eyes, maintain a continuous dialogue, and fully commit to the conversation at hand. This will demonstrate to the child that we value what they have to say and encourage them to express themselves. Understanding a child's thoughts and experiences demands a great deal of empathy. The trick is to put ourselves in their shoes and attempt to feel what they are feeling. By placing ourselves in their shoes, we may better understand their situation and empathize with their needs and desires, allowing us to respond with compassion. Avoid interrupting the child and instead pay close attention without forming assumptions. By doing this, you provide an environment in which the child can be themselves without fear of consequences. Through this, the child may feel more comfortable discussing their feelings and thoughts with you. Asking open-ended questions about a child's ideas and feelings is one method to demonstrate active listening and empathy. We do not impose our viewpoints on them, but rather encourage them to challenge assumptions and seek better answers. This promotes initiative and self-reliance by allowing children to solve problems on their own. When we show strong-willed children that we care by listening to them and putting ourselves in their shoes, we demonstrate that we wish to see things from their eyes. We acknowledge that they are unique persons with their own thoughts, desires, and impulses that may or may not coincide with ours. Listening carefully and empathizing with a child's point of view may help us understand why the child is acting the way they are. If we listen closely and try to put ourselves in their position, we may learn about the underlying issues they are facing. This allows us to provide appropriate guidance and instruction while also addressing the underlying issues. Active listening and empathy also assist us in controlling our own feelings and reactions, which is especially useful when dealing with strong-willed children. Active listening can help us keep our calm even when they seem to be acting stubborn. When working with strong-willed children, the practice of active listening and empathy can help to build an environment of open communication and mutual understanding. It's critical for their psychological and social development that kids feel like they belong somewhere, and listening to them helps to show them this. During disagreements with strong-willed children, it's critical to retain your calm and regulate your emotions. Relax and consider your options before reacting. Instead, provide a good example of restraint by speaking out when you're anxious, but do it in a way that shows you value the child's viewpoint. Keep in mind that developing a strong relationship with your child takes time and work. Recognize and celebrate their accomplishments, and provide constructive criticism if required. If you consistently use diplomatic and respectful communication tactics, you may make your child feel heard and respected, and this would go a long way. Avoid arguing with strong-willed children. Rather than engaging in a battle of wills, concentrate on finding common ground and understanding their point of view. Even if you disagree with their actions, acknowledging their emotions and validating their feelings is crucial. If you employ this strategy, they will be more willing to cooperate with you and listen to you since they will feel heard and valued. When dealing with strong-willed children, the capacity to negotiate and compromise is essential. These children frequently find themselves at odds with their parents and entangled in power struggles as a result of their strong sense of autonomy and urge to establish their uniqueness. However, if parents foster a culture of mutual respect and open communication, they will be better prepared to face these circumstances. When disagreements arise, parents can have a rational discussion with their child. They can utilize open-ended questions to get information from the child. Active listening can help parents better comprehend their child's behaviors and the needs they are attempting to express. During talks, parents must be adaptable and prepared to compromise. They must be adaptable and open to new ideas in order to fulfill the child's wants while yet adhering to the family's main principles. Parents may teach their children flexibility and adaptation by demonstrating that they are willing to make adjustments as well. As the dialogue progresses, parents and children can work together to find a solution that works for everyone. Finding common ground, combining elements of different perspectives, or developing fresh techniques are all possible strategies for resolving the underlying challenges. Working together in this manner can help parents teach their children the virtues of teamwork and cooperation. Setting clear rules and boundaries. When raising strong-willed children, it helps to set clear standards and punishments in a way that helps them understand and work together. For this method to work, you have to set up a system that shows kids where they stand and what their choices will mean. The first step towards this goal is to create an environment where people can trust and talk to each other. Start by talking to your child about what you want from them. The best way to talk to your child is to listen carefully and try to understand how he or she feels. It's important to get kids to talk about their own thoughts and feelings. After you and your child have found a way to talk to each other, you can talk about the rules you want them to follow. Don't act like you're just going to teach them. Instead, tell them how your rules will help them in their everyday lives. Focus on the good things that will happen if they do these things well, such as building trust, encouraging independence, and bringing peace to the home. It is important that the effects of not meeting these standards are seen as necessary outcomes, not as punishments. Make sure they understand how their choices and actions will affect not only themselves, but also the people around them. By taking this approach, kids can learn the link between what they do and consequences that might follow. It is also very important that standards and outcomes are always the same. Strong-willed kids are great at pushing boundaries, so it's important to be consistent and firm when setting and following these boundaries. This shows that the consequences you have put in place are neither random nor up for debate. Also, whenever you can, give rewards for good behavior. Show your child how much you appreciate their hard work by being happy when they meet or beat your goals. The good feedback they get will make them even more likely to keep following the rules. Keep in mind that this method requires engagement and change all the time. As your child grows up, they will learn more about rules and what happens when they break them. Make sure to check in on your goals often and change them if you need to in light of your progress and new information. When talking to your child about what to expect, it helps to give examples. Use concrete examples instead of general words to explain what you want him or her to do. If you do this, it will be much easier for your child to understand what you want and do what you want. Tell them to ask questions and get more knowledge from you if they don't understand something. Help your child understand what you expect of him or her by letting him or her help set the outcomes. This gives kids a sense of control and makes them responsible and proud of what they do. Don't use threats or punishments to try to control your child's actions while you're talking about the results. Instead, you should stress the natural and expected effects of what they are doing. It shows kids that there is a connection between what they do and what happens to them. If they don't do their homework, then getting a bad grade is a normal result of what they did. Remind them that the real point of consequences is not punishment, but to help them grow and learn. Chapter 4. How to discipline strong-willed children. Children with strong will can't be raised without punishment because it helps shape their minds, teaches them morals, and gives them the skills they need to thrive in life. Sometimes it might be hard to figure out how to punish them in a way that helps them be independent and strong. Discipline is more about guiding and teaching than about punishment. It means setting rules and standards, but also letting kids make their own choices and learn from them. By taking a more open and fair approach, parents can avoid using authoritarian methods. It's important to understand that every discipline plan that works is built on good communication. By being honest and polite with kids, we might be able to help them see why we have certain rules. Parents can help their kids internalize values and make smart choices by explaining why there are boundaries and pushing them to take responsibility for their actions. Consistency is one of the most important parts of being able to control yourself. Children can be more predictable and stable when standards and outcomes are always the same. Children are more likely to be self-disciplined and take responsibility for their actions when they know what is expected of them and what might happen if they don't do what is expected of them. It's also important to understand that every child is different. Children with a strong will usually respect their independence and know who they are. Parents can help their kids develop these traits by letting them make choices within safe limits. By having natural outcomes happen in a controlled setting, they can learn from their mistakes and learn how to solve problems. Discipline is all about teaching people how to be emotionally intelligent and have understanding. When children are taught to notice and deal with their feelings, they become more resilient and able to control themselves. Parents can set a good example of empathy by listening carefully to their children, supporting their feelings, and helping them think about how their actions affect other people. Punishment must always be paired with love, understanding, and support. Parents need to find ways for their kids' endless energy and strong will to be put to good use. Parents can help their kids become strong, self-assured individuals by giving them a safe, loving home where they can learn to trust and respect each other by showing them how to do these things themselves. Discipline is important if you want your kids to grow up to be responsible people in society. Discipline is meant to teach kids how to be self-disciplined and how important it is to make smart choices. It is not meant to stop them from being themselves. It's important not to undervalue a child's normal desire to be different and push the limits. Parents don't have to see this trait as a flaw. Instead, they can use it to teach their children important lessons about life. When correcting, it's important to focus on how well the child can solve problems and bounce back from setbacks. Parents of kids with a strong will should help their kids figure out how to solve problems on their own instead of doing it for them. This helps kids learn to have a growth mindset and figure out how to solve problems on their own. Parents can use discipline to teach their children things like kindness, respect, and self-control. You can raise children with high emotional intelligence by showing them how their actions affect others and giving them chances to see things from other people's points of view. Discipline is important, but it's also important to let kids with strong will be themselves. When kids are given age-appropriate freedom within limits set by their parents, they learn to make choices and gain confidence in their own abilities. One easy way to do this is to let kids choose their own clothes and things to do in their free time. Discipline shouldn't be a one-time lesson, but a conversation that goes on and on. Children who test the limits benefit from having these rules, standards, and consequences talked about with them often, so they can understand why they are there. How to put together a set of rules. Sit down with your child and be patient as you tell them what is expected of them and what the rules are. Explain what they are supposed to do and what they are not, and stress why these rules are in place. Your child will understand why these rules are important if he or she sees how they work in real life. But kids with strong will tend to push the boundaries and question those in charge. The best way to stay calm when they don't do what you say is to keep your cool. Look at things from their point of view to stay out of power battles. Recognize what they've been through and show you care about their sadness. When you respect their point of view, you create a setting where they know they are important. When your child breaks the rules, there should be consequences. When they do something bad, they should get a fair punishment that fits the crime. Instead of being a punishment, consequences should be seen as a chance to learn. Let your child learn from the results of what they did while you stress how important it is for them to make better decisions in the future. Positive feedback is just as important. When your child does something you like or makes a good choice, give them praise. Recognize what they've done well and give helpful feedback when it's needed. This makes it clear to them that good behavior leads to good results, which in turn encourages them to keep up the good work. Having your child help you come up with these rules can be a great idea. Include them in conversations where they can share their thoughts and ideas and help set the ground rules for the family. When kids are involved, they learn to take responsibility for their actions. Ways to discipline strong-willed children. Positive methods of punishment for children with a strong will should focus on improving the relationship between the parent and child, setting clear limits, and encouraging the child to learn self-control. By doing these things, parents can create an environment where their kids can learn and grow in areas like working with others, respecting others, and being self-reliant. Positive discipline is a way of raising kids that puts understanding, good communication, and finding creative solutions to problems ahead of physical punishment and power struggles. For effective punishment, you need to build a strong bond of trust with your determined child. The first step is to listen carefully while they talk, show understanding, and make sure you understand what they say. Parents can set the stage for effective punishment by showing they care about their kids. Children should be told in a kind and age-appropriate way what the rules are and what will happen if they break them. Don't tell your child what to do without talking to him or her first. Give them an idea of why the rules are the way they are, and they will be more likely to follow them. Instead of punishing people when they don't get along, positive discipline focuses on finding clever ways to make things better. Get your child to talk about what they think and feel in an honest way. Respect their point of view and work with them to find answers that work for everyone. This is a good way to teach kids how to think critically, understand other people's feelings, and find peaceful answers to problems. Positive parenting doesn't just focus on correcting bad behavior. It also teaches children how to behave well. Instead of just punishing bad behavior, tell your child why it is wrong and what good things they can do instead. Help them learn to take responsibility for what they do and give them strategies to handle tough conditions. Modeling is a big part of what makes positive discipline work. Children learn from the way their parents act and think, so it's important to be a good role model. Use patience, kindness, and respect when you talk to people, including your child. If you do the things you want your child to do, you may set a good example, which is very important. Children who are called strong-willed usually know a lot about themselves and want to leave their mark on the world. Give them chances to make choices and make decisions that are right for their age. This will help them grow. Giving your child more freedom will help them become more independent and confident. It's important to have a close mental connection with your child. Spend regular time together reading, playing games, or just talking to keep the bond strong. Listen to what they say and try to understand what they're going through. This makes them more likely to listen to you and trust you when you tell them what to do or punish them. Instead of yelling at or punishing your child when he or she does something wrong, try getting his or her attention on something more appropriate. If your kids are always throwing their toys around, try giving them something more useful to do, like paint or build with blocks. This teaches kids good ways to let out their thoughts and physical energy. When your strong-willed child has a problem, you should tell them to think about all of their choices. Help them think about how their choices will affect others. In this way, they learn how to think critically and find ways to deal with problems even as they grow older. It's important to keep in mind that positive discipline has nothing to do with ignoring bad behavior or praising it. Children with strong will need rules and direction, just like any other child. Positive parenting, on the other hand, doesn't focus on penalties as much as it does on dealing with bad behavior in a way that helps the child learn and grow. Chapter 5. Promoting Emotional Intelligence in Strong-Willed Children. These children have a strong will and like to accomplish things on their own, making it difficult for them to control their emotions. However, with the right care and attention, children may develop and master lifelong emotional intelligence skills. The first step is to ensure that these children have a secure place to go when they need to express themselves. Recognize their drive and tell them that it is okay to have powerful emotions and to express them honestly. Demonstrate compassion and recognize their feelings to help them feel heard. One effective strategy is to provide a good example of emotional maturity for others to follow. Because children pick up on signs from their caretakers, modeling proper emotional responses is critical. Discuss your own emotions and the coping mechanisms you use. This exhibits great emotion regulation and encourages them to do the same. It is also critical to teach children how to label their emotions. Teach them the need to express themselves. Teach them to recognize and label their emotions as they occur to help them get a better understanding of their own emotional landscape. Encourage the ability to solve problems creatively and peacefully. Children with strong will may struggle to cope with disappointment when they do not get their way. Show them how to handle disagreements in a manner that benefits all parties. Teach them how to be skilled listeners and negotiators to help them develop social and emotional intelligence. Participate in mutual reflection and mindfulness exercises. To relax your thoughts and heighten your awareness, try some deep breathing exercises or meditation. Encourage your child to consider how they feel, what they think, and what they would do in various situations. By exercising mindfulness, they may gain insight into managing their emotions. Use storytelling and role-playing in their instructional activities. Use literature, movies, or even personal experiences to teach a range of emotions. Put kids in the shoes of imaginary characters and ask them to consider how they might feel in different circumstances. It's an excellent approach to help them develop empathy for others and obtain a more sophisticated knowledge of their emotions. Allow kids to express their emotions via their creative ability. Having a secure place where they may express themselves artistically can be therapeutic and give a nonverbal way of working through challenging emotions. Assist them in realizing that their emotions and experiences are just as legitimate as anybody else's. Encourage children to put themselves in the shoes of others in order to build empathy. Teach kids the importance of listening to others without forming assumptions or expressing judgment. When faced with challenges or disappointments, strong-willed children may experience tremendous sentiments. Assist them in learning coping strategies such as deep breathing and positive self-talk. Encourage them to consider how their actions may impact them and people around them. Help them in considering how their actions connect to their values and how others may see them. Allow kids to exercise emotional regulation in a variety of circumstances. When they start feeling overwhelmed or agitated, tell them to take a few deep breaths or count to 10. Give them ideas for constructive ways to cope with their emotions, such as keeping a journal. Use role-playing activities to help them practice conflict resolution. Instruct them on the need of two-way communication, compromise, and reaching mutually beneficial solutions. Emphasize the importance of peaceful conflict resolution. Remember that there is no one-size-fits-all method to child rearing. Because your kid is unique, personalize your plan to them. Help children with high levels of emotional and social resilience by cultivating emotional intelligence and providing a supportive environment on a daily basis. Assist them in acknowledging and expressing their gratitude for the numerous blessings they have in their life. This improves mental and emotional wellness by fostering a positive attitude. Make them do activities that will cause them to think carefully about themselves. Keeping a journal, conducting self-evaluation tasks, or keeping a diary might help them learn more about their feelings and behaviors. This self-awareness will aid in their emotional development. Allow to volunteer or assist others. Volunteering teaches children compassion, empathy, and social responsibility. Encourage them to participate in sports and other physical activities. Children who are strong-willed may benefit from frequent physical exercise as a way to channel their energy and learn to regulate their emotions. Give them opportunities to take on leadership roles. Children with strong will are natural leaders. Motivate them to help others. Teach them that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Encourage them to share their experiences with trusted friends or family members for guidance. Praise them when they display signs of emotional maturity, such as controlling their emotions or showing empathy for others. Receiving such encouragement will encourage them to continue increasing their emotional maturity. Chapter 6. Strong-willed children and relationships. Strong-willed children frequently experience conflicts with their peers because they have strong opinions. However, if they are taught effective communication techniques like active listening and respectfully expressing their thoughts and feelings, they will learn to express themselves without being disrespectful to others. Compromise and collaboration skills must be instilled in children with strong-will if they are to form positive relationships. Sometimes their stubbornness will make them hesitant to make concessions or consider alternative viewpoints. By highlighting the significance of collaboration and developing negotiation skills, they may learn to find common ground and collaborate to develop solutions that please everyone involved. If children with strong-will are to have positive relationships with others, they must also learn to be patient and in control of their emotions. They may be easily irritated or quick to anger due to their obstinate personality qualities, which makes it challenging for them to resolve conflicts or handle stress. By participating in self-regulation techniques like deep breathing or counting to 10, they can learn to regulate their emotions. Make sure kids have a lot of opportunities to pursue their interests and develop as individuals. Strong-willed children are immensely benefited by an environment that values acceptance and respect. By encouraging children to pursue their passions and unique talents, we can help them develop self-confidence. Strong-willed children can pick up life lessons from positive role models who exhibit positive interpersonal skills. These children can pick up these skills by observing how their families get along or by spending time with others who are adept at communication and empathy. If they are encouraged to engage in activities that expose them to healthy social dynamics, these lessons may be repeated and used as a guide for them as they navigate their own relationships. It's crucial to teach strong-willed kids the skill of active listening. By practicing active listening, they may learn to understand and relate to people. A wonderful method to demonstrate that you're interested in having meaningful relationships with others is to learn how to ask follow-up questions and restate what was stated, and this can be done only when you pay attention to people when they talk. Children that have strong will can develop into socially successful people by receiving encouragement in communication and problem-solving skills. Teaching kids problem-solving techniques like brainstorming, examining choices might help them develop a constructive attitude towards conflicts or challenges. As a result, they will develop the ability to handle disputes amicably without using force or manipulative tactics. The need of teaching kids good coping techniques cannot be overstated, since their zeal can occasionally result in strong emotions. By encouraging them to partake in creative activities like painting, writing, or athletics, you may be able to assist them in coping with their emotions and gaining understanding of who they are. Understanding and controlling their own emotions, as well as the emotions of people around them, can help them navigate relationships more successfully. The development of a sense of social responsibility and empathy in strong-willed children can also support their ability to create positive relationships with others. When youngsters are taught the importance of kindness, compassion, and respect, it is much simpler to demonstrate to them how their actions influence other people. Participating in volunteer or community service activities with children can help them develop empathy and a sense of social responsibility, as well as their potential for real human connection. Children with strong will must be taught how to settle disputes amicably with others. Since conflict will undoubtedly arise in their interactions, it is essential to teach children constructive ways to resolve it. They must be taught how to compromise, negotiate, and find common ground. They will be better able to manage conflicts pleasantly and improve their relationships if they are given these skills. You must assist them to be more self-aware and reflective if you want them to be able to establish good relationships with others. By being more self-aware of their own abilities, limits, and triggers, they can learn to care more about the emotions of others. Encourage them to reflect on their behaviors, be receptive to new ideas, and take ownership of their words and deeds in order to help them become a better version of themselves. The social development of children with strong will depends on their ability to set and uphold reasonable boundaries. Their tenacity might be admirable, but they must learn to respect the personal space and rights of those around them. If you want children with strong will to grow up and form good relationships, you must educate them how to be flexible and adaptive. They could be unwilling to change their methods due to their obstinate nature. The importance of teaching children the value of being open to new ideas, embracing diverse opinions, and adapting to novel situations cannot be overstated in order to assist them better navigate relationships and foster harmonious relationships. Chapter 7. Power Struggles with Strong-Willed Kids. Raising children with strong will can both be a struggle and a delight. These children have an intrinsic need to push boundaries and challenge authority, which may lead to parent-child conflicts. However, by understanding more about the child's temperament and following effective strategies, parents may overcome these difficulties and establish a positive connection with their strong-willed child. First, you must recognize and respect your child's yearning for independence. Strong-willed children are self-aware and like to accomplish things their own way. Take their disobedience not personally, but rather as a sign of their evolving character. By developing uniqueness and offering alternatives whenever possible, power conflicts may be reduced and a feeling of agency promoted. Rather than instructing them what to wear, give them an option between two excellent choices. It is critical to maintain strict boundaries. Strong-willed children thrive in environments with strict rules and consequences. Make and follow fair, realistic, and age-appropriate rules and limits. Expect opposition and revolt, but keep your determination. Trying to reason with or achieve a deal with them during times of opposition may backfire. The key to dealing with power struggles is open and honest communication. Even if you disagree with your child's point of view, it is critical that you listen to their feelings and concerns with respect and compassion. Encourage open debate. You may be able to reduce their aversion to authority by demonstrating that you understand how they feel. Instead of utilizing commands or criticism, consider using I phrases to convey your wishes and needs. Kids are more inclined to collaborate while using this strategy. When dealing with strong-willed children, positive reinforcement is an effective approach. Recognize and celebrate their outstanding actions. Encourage them to keep up their excellent conduct by praising them and providing rewards or special privileges. Recognize the importance of collaboration and appreciate even the smallest of their successes. A positive feedback loop may be constructed, resulting in more desired conduct and less disobedience. Children who have a lot of willpower need good role models. Children learn skills through observing and imitating their parents and other people in their life. Check to see whether you're displaying tolerance, respect, and clever problem-solving approaches. Setting a good example teaches your kid healthy coping methods. It is critical to have a deep, trustworthy connection with your child. Spend time with them, do activities they like, and show an interest in their lives. Laying the basis of love and support early on may result in a stronger relationship and less difficulties with power struggles. Dealing with power struggles and rebellion among young people with strong will requires patience and understanding. If you accept your kid's drive for independence, set strong boundaries, promote open lines of communication, praise good conduct, and set a good example yourself, your child may be directed towards healthy growth and development with minimum impact on your relationship. Remember that your independent kid is an individual, and it may take some trial and error to find out what works best for him or her. One important aspect is encouraging your child to accept responsibility for his or her behavior. Children with strong will gain immensely from settings in which they may participate in decision-making or take on responsibilities. To that aim, it may be useful to provide these children with age-appropriate duties and tasks within the family. This strategy may assist them in channeling their aggression in a more constructive direction, reducing the chance of power struggles. Teach your kid effective coping mechanisms and problem-solving techniques to help them cope with their emotions. Assist them in detecting their emotions and providing appropriate channels for them to express them. Instruct them on how to identify a problem and generate viable solutions. Remember that every kid is unique, and no one strategy will work for all of them. It may take some time and trial to figure out what works best for your strong-willed kid. With time and effort, your relationship with your kid may blossom, and you may be able to direct your child's assertiveness in productive areas. Strong-willed children with special needs. Providing support to strong-willed children with special needs or learning issues may be both rewarding and demanding. These children have extraordinary talents and perspectives, yet their stubbornness may affect their learning and growth. However, if you take the time to personalize your aid to each child's specific requirements, you may be able to help them thrive. The first step is to identify and admire these children's tenacity. Rather than seeing it as a defect, keep in mind that people's tenacity and toughness may be put to good use. They may acquire strength and confidence by concentrating on and expanding on their areas of strength. It is critical to establish a firm foundation of trust with the child. This requires open dialogue, active listening, and empathy. You may work together to develop answers if you make an effort to learn about their condition, concerns, and aspirations. Children have a feeling of agency over their education when they are involved in decision-making. Individualized education plans, IEPs, could be very helpful for children with special needs or learning disabilities who are also strong-willed. In these plans, each child's individual goals and solutions are written down. When parents work with teachers, therapists, and other experts, they may be able to create an environment that helps the child grow and learn. When working with kids who have strong will, it's important to be flexible. It's possible that traditional ways of teaching won't help them learn as well or as quickly. The best way to get young kids interested and excited about learning is to try out new methods like engaging games, visual aids, and technological learning tools. Consistency and order help kids with strong will a lot. Setting up normal habits and standards can give them a sense of safety and security. People are better able to stay on task and get things done when they set fair goals and break up big jobs into smaller, more doable pieces. Also, giving them praise on their efforts and wins on a regular basis makes them more determined and confident. It is just as important to give these kids a place to feel welcome and accepted. When kids have chances to talk to and learn from their friends, it can help them understand and accept each other. By getting the word out about the child's condition or learning difference, the community may become understanding and friendly. To help children with special needs or learning problems who are also very driven, you need a plan that is both thorough and tailored to each child. We can help these kids grow and reach their full potential by recognizing their unique qualities, making their education plans fit their needs, being flexible, giving them order, and pushing them to be a part of the group. For these kids to get the help and supports they need, advocacy is a must. Parents and other adults who care for children have a responsibility to learn about their rights and the tools available to them through the school system. It can be helpful to talk to other parents who are going through the same things and get their advice and support. At neighborhood clubs, on the internet, and in person, you can get information, advice, and emotional support. Working with professionals and therapists can be a great way to get help and advice. Parents and teachers can help these kids find their niche and improve their skills by pushing them to do things that match their hobbies and natural abilities. By doing activities or sports they enjoy, they may feel more confident. Self-regulation and coping skills can help kids with strong will learn to control their thoughts and behaviors. They may become more resilient and better able to deal with problems by doing things like deep breathing exercises and learning how to solve problems. Keep in mind that every kid is different, even the ones with strong will. To meet their changing needs, you have to pay attention and make changes all the time. Supporting and helping children with special needs or learning problems reach their full potential takes patience and understanding.